We have an email from Anne, and Anne writes, "Hi, my stockbroker told me that the equity market could rally 20% next year. Then why should I buy bonds? I love the show, but I haven't bought bonds yet." Well, we live in hope. Great question. I'd be surprised he said it was only 20%. He could have said 40%.
Bit of a smudge on the crystal ball.
That's right. What do you say to Anne when a customer comes in and says, "Look, the stockbroker's saying this"?
Yeah. So I guess to start with, crystal balls always worry me because I've never got the crystal ball quite right.
Yeah.
But we always start with, and we don't know in this case with Anne, is what is Anne's current asset allocation?
Yeah.
We don't know
Clearly,
that.
no bonds.
So she's got no bonds, we know that. So
I can help her there. We've got to buy some bonds.
So in Anne's case, we feel we've got to diversify clients' portfolios across asset classes, mainly because trying to predict which asset class is going to fire on ahead of another, boy, it's difficult.
Yeah.
I mean, 23 years I've been in this job, and it's impossible to get it right because there's too many variables around the world that are constantly changing the game plan.
I call it the Rumsfeld portfolio. The portfolio you have when you don't know what's going to happen. I mean, you don't know what you don't know, so you've got to prepare for that. So buy something that gives you a little bit of the sleep pattern that's consistent,
right.
and then the volatility that comes out. But that leads me to the latest theme is around this black swan stuff. And for the viewers at home, a black swan. When I asked the gentleman this question, it doesn't make any sense because a black swan is supposed to be an event that happens that you had no foresight of it happening, so that becomes the black swan. So when I ask them what their black swan is, they shouldn't be able to answer it, but I will.
Yeah, I mean, the whole thing's strange to me. Like, everything just seems to happen at the last minute. So I think they'll get it over the line.
As do we.
Yeah, everyone thinks we'll get over the line.
We'll get over the line. It just ends up a bit of...
So in your business, mate, what's the black swan for you? What are you concerned about?
So we talk to clients about there are things you can't control and there are things you can control.
Yep.
So trying to, as I mentioned a minute ago, trying to move assets around and predict asset allocations and control the world just is impossible. It's out of your control. So my concern is when clients do try and move their portfolios around asset allocations aggressively, that they're just out of the market. And there's been so many studies over the years that's shown if you stay into an asset class over the long term, you'll win versus coming in and out of that asset class in dramatic moves. I'm not talking 2 or 3% moves, I'm talking in and out at 50% swings, which some mum and dads try to do. And it generally ends up in tears because we find clients are much happy to make money, but they're very, very unhappy to lose money.
Yeah, please don't be that sort of investor clients. But I mean, don't try and pick markets. It's too hard. There's only one Buffett for a reason.
Yeah.
Consumer sentiment is on the up.
Yeah, I think so.
But they're not going to spend money. I don't know that they're going to spend money. What's your thoughts with consumers?
I think certain generation bands will spend money. The question is, I guess, the ones with the money, are they going to spend it?
Yeah. I suppose, in my mind, that's the greatest quandary for the RBA. So for the RBA, they've got to get the consumer to act. They've moved rates down, and now we're seeing the property market move. Yeah. But the question is, at this point in time, the property market's moving. We're not quite sure who's buying. Is it investors or is it people?
We're seeing on the property front investors. So we've had more clients come in and talk to us about property in the last 6 months than in the last 5 years. It's just taken off again, all these queries. But what's interesting on spending, a quick story, on retail, which is why I think they need to work on their business a bit. I got some gift vouchers to a certain store for my birthday recently. So I go down to the store and I've got 5 gift vouchers for $350. And the guy in the store says, "Craig, I'll give you 35% off straight away." And I sort of stood there and thought, why would you give me 35% off? I've got these gift vouchers.
Can't go anywhere else.
I can't go anywhere else. Give me a free belt or something. So I think sometimes we need to work